Hey everyone, welcome to Bickering Book Reviews. I'm Sarah.
I'm Becky.
And today we're talking about Just a Boy and a Girl in a Little Canoe by Sarah Mylynowski. We got this from Edelweiss, right? You got it from Edelweiss? Okay.
Yep.
So this is the second book in the I See London, I See France series. And we're in the same.
But it's like, is it really the second book? Because like both of us couldn't figure out how it fit together, and
I want to explain that. So basically it's the same world. There are some brief character interactions, but main characters from the first book are not are not major parts in the second book. And so this book follows Sam, who her boyfriend Eli is going with his cousin to backpack. They're also backpacking through Europe. So while he's away, she's going to miss him, and she gets the opportunity to be a camp counselor at a camp where she went when she was younger, and it was actually a horrifying experience. But she's going to go back and be a counselor and hopefully kind of redeem that terrible mean girl bully experience. It was tragic. So she goes off to camp for the whole summer, and while she's there, she's trying to stay in touch with her boyfriend, but there's no Wi-Fi at camp, so it's really hard to kind of hook up with him because time differences and Wi-Fi and all that. And also while she's there, there's the quintessential camp romance. There is another guy there, Gavin, who is super cute, but he also has a girlfriend who so happens to be in Europe for the summer as well. And so they kind of keep bumping into each other as they're checking on their significant others, and then they also kind of develop this romantic fling. And it's just kind of figuring out kind of where do you go from there? Like, is it just a camp romance? Is what they're doing okay? Like, are they on the wrong side of the line, or are they just keeping it flirty and, it's not a big deal? I don't think there's really anything more than that. It's just very like love triangle-y and cheater, pumpkin eaters.
well, I think you actually kind of hit on, like, I did not enjoy this book. Like, I loved I See London, I See France. Like, I thought it was fun.
Becky curse.
I curse all the time, though.
About this book.
I curse all the time, though.
Not about books, usually.
No. But sometimes I just things that come out of my mouth, people are like, what? But, so I think part of the problem is it was linked to the first book. It shouldn't have been. Because honestly, when you can't remember the connections, I feel like I would have liked it better if it stood on its own. Because it never does.
I did have trouble throughout. I was kind of regretting that I hadn't reread the first one, because I couldn't figure out how it all fit together. And I'm like going back into Goodreads and reading the summaries and reading my summary, and I couldn't figure out who was connected to what. But I think if it didn't have that connection, I don't think it could have made it.
Well, so to me, it didn't make it anyway. I mean, there's that.
Right.
I did not care for Sam. I think that we are at the point in the world when you have a 19-year-old person, she should not be as whiny and still just like absolutely like she whined about everything. And I'm sorry, but I didn't buy the camp thing. I didn't buy the counselors behaving. I was a camp counselor. You would not have gotten away with the stuff that they got away with.
Well, and I wonder if that's kind of what, like, because my only experience with like camp in that regard is like the Disney movie Camp Rock. And so like I could believe, like, actually this book made me want to watch that movie. Not that it's like Disney-fied, it's like Disney After Dark. That's what this book is. But like that didn't bother me. Like it seemed very much like a camp book.
I felt like nothing happened for the first 50% of the pages. Like, it's marketed as this like kind of love triangle romance between her and Gavin, and they barely interact, and Gavin is never developed. I know nothing about Gavin. So I've got a main character I don't like, a love interest I don't know. Nothing happens.
See, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the fluffiness of it. I think it definitely keeps Sarah Mylynowski's tone of voice. Like, you can definitely see her, like, it feels very much in her voice. Um, I had problems with Gavin because he didn't have problems with cheating on his girlfriend. Like, he was definitely, he seemed more pushy about like getting with Sam, but like wanted to cheat, and he seemed like a playboy, and so it was hard for me to root for him in any like way, shape, or form because he seemed like a skeeve.
I didn't see that. I just felt like I didn't know anything about him. Like, we knew absolutely
No,
nothing
like
about Gavin.
the comments that people would make, like how he's, cycled through so many girls, and like that he didn't want to tell his girlfriend about what was going on, but he still, like, he had no reservations about actually cheating on his girlfriend. I think that was an issue. But I do think that after a while, though, there were a lot of problems with like slut shaming and bullying, that it took way too long for them to be addressed, for the character to find kind of her inner voice to stand up to them. And I think she grew. Like, I could see her growing, and I liked that.
I felt like she didn't grow at all. Plus,
And I
I'm
think she did.
sorry, when your chapter is literally 20% of the book, the pacing is not there.
And I think that was the problem with addressing the bullying. That's why the pacing for that was off. But I get why she did it by the weeks. I just think there should have been mini chapters within each of the weeks should have been parts, and there should have been chapters within the parts.
I have read a lot of her books. If I had read this first, I wouldn't have read anymore. I would have been done.
No, I wouldn't have been. I enjoyed it enough.
See, and I did. To me, it was not a fluffy summer romance. It was not a fluffy camp book. It was trying to be more, and it just didn't work. Like, I honestly, like, just like talking about it, I'm getting agitated. And I went back and I had to find a library that had an ebook of I See London, I See France. I downloaded it and skimmed it just to try to, like, and as skimming that, I was like, see, I like this. Because I did that about halfway through this book. I was hoping that it would make me like it better. It didn't. This is possibly one of the most disappointing things I've read in quite a while. Because I really, really wanted to love it.
It makes me sad. No, I enjoyed it. Like, I enjoyed it. I'm sticking. Like, no, it's not as good as the first one, but I still enjoyed it, and I still see it as a summer book, and I will recommend this series still.
I'll recommend the first one.
Taking a stand. All right.
And I was wondering if they were maybe a little older, like if they were like 21 and like were senior counselors, and like it was a little bit more adult, maybe it would have worked better. Because it just did not work for me. We should rate it because I feel like I'm getting mean.
We're there. We're gonna rate it. So our rating scale goes from 5 unicorns down to 2 unicorns. If we don't like it, it isn't magical, then it is therefore a horse. What are you at?
I'm at a 2 barely.
I don't think we've ever given a horse, have we? Maybe like once or twice.
I think I have. I know that when we were doing the old rating, the one, I can't remember what it was called.
Oh, the goblins and the, oh gosh.
Yeah. But there was, because I kept calling it Away We Suck.
Oh, yeah.
Well, yeah, I think what the book was actually called. It was probably called Away We Go or something, but I called it Away We Suck.
It was Away We Go, and you did call it that. But I think Cursed was the last one.
Cursed, I don't think we rated, because we didn't actually finish it.
We didn't finish it. Well, my rating still is at a 3. Like, yeah, I hope for a little bit more, but I still enjoyed it. And like I said, it made me want to go watch Camp Rock. So, Camp Rock trigger warning.
It made me want to delete it off my Kindle. Okay. So that is where we are on A Boy and a Girl in a Little Canoe.
Just a boy and a girl in a little canoe. I thought you were going to say Away We Suck.
And we'll see you around.
Okay, bye.